Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professional Nomad Podcast. Once again, I am your humble host, Stefano, and I am happy that you are able to join me tonight. Today, we got a very exciting topic, so I hope you are listening and able to pay attention as much as possible because this is a very important subject that we're going to discuss tonight. Now, sometimes this topic can be a little controversial because it deals with finance. But if you understand what's coming down the pike, you understand that we all need to be in control of our financial futures. No matter what we may think of these new digital assets that have came about in the past couple of years, they are a real thing and they are here to stay. So it's best for us to learn about these things now and get ahead of them so that we can make sure that our families are secure in the future. Especially as a person of color, I really feel like it is very important that my people jump on this now and not wait until the last minute so we don't fall behind on the curve. Now, a lot of people will tell you that some of these digital assets are a scam. And they could be right about some of them, but the majority of them, they are not. So to help me talk about this tonight, I've enlisted some of the best and most brilliant minds in the digital asset space that I could find. And I'm going to bring them up in just a second. But first, we're going to go over a couple of things. I want to talk to you about cryptocurrency. So let's talk about the top cryptos in the world right now. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. Now, this is CoinGecko. I'm going to post this link in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and check it for yourself, you can do that. Also, make sure you press like and subscribe. Therefore, you can be notified when we go live. It really helps if you do that because when you press like, it puts us in front of a broader audience. It helps bring and attract more people to the live screen. And when you subscribe, you can be notified when we go live. So it really helps a lot and it's free. And it shows that you are supporting the channel and everything that I'm trying to do with this channel, especially trying to reach out to the people that really, really need it the most. All right. So let's get back to this. Now, right now, we're looking at the top 5 cryptos in the world. Okay. The number 1 digital asset in the world is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sitting at Cool, 43,000. Right now, the market is at 1.75 trillion. That's trillion with a T. It's up 0.5% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin has a market cap around 856 billion. Yeah, that's billion with a B. The next one on the list is Ethereum. Ethereum is around $2,300, a little bit over $2,300 with a market cap of 277 billion. There's no way that some of these digital assets could be even considered a scam because they're here. And there's such it's a large amount of money that's in these digital assets that they're going to be here for a while, and we need to make sure that we are learning about these. We got Tether USDT that with a market cap around 91 billion. Got Solana. Solana has jumped up and it's around $108 and with a market cap of 46 billion. BNB. It's around $271 with a market cap of 41 million, I'm sorry. And the very popular XRP sitting around 61 cents with a market cap of 33 billion. So why am I talking about these? Because these are popular assets that you need to familiarize yourself with so that you can learn about investing in the future. We want to learn about these as quick as possible because it's very important that you do. That way you can take advantage of it and your financial future. Now I want to show you another screen real quick. Let me share this with you. This one right here is called Fiat Leak. So give me a second. Let me share this one. And I'll drop this link in the chat too. Now, Fiat Leak, this is a website that shows and tracks all of the fiat currency being tracked and spent on cryptocurrency. Now, if you look to the left over here, you can see you have a list of cryptos, a list of digital assets. Let's not call all of them crypto. Let's use the term digital assets for a moment. Copy this and put this in the chat for the people. Salty Balls, what's up, man? Appreciate you stopping through, man. Salute to you, bro. Really, really appreciate it. Really means a lot. Appreciate you. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Machismo TV or Salty Balls channel, please make sure you go over there and you subscribe to them, guys. They are definitely doing their thing over there. We all need to support each other as content creators, okay? So please make sure you go over there and hit that sub button. Tell them I sent you. Now, let's get back to the Fiat Leak, right? So with Fiat Leak, it basically shows you all of the cryptos that are being bought, all of the digital assets that are being bought in the world. So we want to take a look at some of these right here. So let's look at the most popular one that everyone knows about, which is Bitcoin, right? Because if you ask anyone about any kind of digital asset, the first thing they're going to talk about is Bitcoin. So I want to ask people that if they think that it is such a scam, why are they buying so much of it? Especially in the United States. If you notice and you pay attention and you look at this, you can see big transactions of crypto going straight to the US more than any other country in the world. Let's take a look at the second popular one, Ethereum, right? Let me find it on the list. Ethereum sitting around 2,300. Once again, they say crypto is a scam, but if it's such a scam, why are they buying so much of it? I digress. So this is where it comes. You have to do your own research and learn about this stuff on your own, because you can't always listen to what other people say. Just don't work like that. Jeremiah, what's up, Jeremiah? Thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through. All right. Yeah. Look at the United States buying all of this Ethereum, but they tell you guys that these digital assets, these cryptocurrencies are a scam. But if they're a scam, why are they buying so much of it? I mean, just look at it. Let's find another one on here. We haven't even touched on the topic yet. Our topic tonight is CBDCs, but I'm showing you this just so whoever's watching this now live or watching this on the replay, you can see that you might need to do your own research on this stuff, because you can't always go off what someone tells you. You need to find out for yourself. Let's find XRP on here. Boom. Sitting at 61 cents. But once again, they tell you that this is a scam, but they show buying a lot of it. Look at this. Just look at it. So why shouldn't you learn about these digital assets and secure your family's future? Now, if you do like I do, like I mentioned earlier, I get advice from people. I listen and I ask questions, because I know that what's coming down the pike is going to be detrimental to what me and my family will be doing in the future. So I'm trying to pay attention and learn. And one of the things that I do to learn is I watch Learn Crypto TV. So if you're not subscribed to Learn Crypto TV, you're doing yourself a disservice, a big disservice. Because on Learn Crypto TV, they're over there dropping gems. So you need to go over there and subscribe so when they're alive, when Los is live, Crypto King Los, Crypto Los, that's what I like to call him, Crypto Los. When he is live, you can get you some knowledge and learn about these crypto assets. But let's talk about the topic real quick, which is CBDCs, right? So what is a CBDC? CBDCs are central bank digital currencies, right? And for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna share my screen and let you see the definition for you. What is a central bank digital currency? Central bank digital currency is virtual money backed and issued by a central bank. As cryptocurrencies and stable coins have become more popular, the world's central banks have realized they need to provide an alternative or let the future of money pass them by, which is another reason why I felt like tonight would be a great night to discuss this topic, because us as a people, especially people of color, we need to get on the ball and we need to get ahead of this. This is a CBDC tracker, and it shows all of the countries, right? All of the countries that are currently dealing with CBDCs in some form, whether it's a pilot program, whether it's in development, they're doing research, they've canceled it, etc. This right here shows you what's coming, and it's inevitable. And we're going to get a CBDC whether we want them or not. Look at the United States, for instance. CBDC, retail wholesale. So if you go to one of these, you can click on it and it'll tell you everything about what this country or any of the countries on this tracker is doing and exactly how many projects they got, whether they have infrastructure, whether they have access, or they have partners or anything. Now, if you've been watching Learn Crypto TV like I have, you would know that one of the most popular companies around who is Ripple, right? Ripple, they are laying the foundation for most countries' CBDC programs. So this is another reason why you guys need to be over there subscribed. That way you can learn. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring up some of my guys up here, man, because I appreciate them joining. Like I said, they're some of the most brilliant minds that I know in the crypto space. And I want to get their opinions on CBDCs. And first, I'm gonna bring up to the stage Mr. Learn Crypto TV himself, Crypto Los. What up, Los?
What's going on, brother?
I can't call it. I'm just here
Yes,
trying to educate the people, you know.
no
That's what.
doubt, no doubt. Shoot, man. Yeah, I'm sitting here in the background a little bit. Give me about 5 minutes or so. I'm just trying to get situated, but I just wanted to, come in and acknowledge. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Dile hola a la familia. Yo escucho. All right.
So you understand. To
Yeah,
entender.
sí, sí, un poco yo puedo ir, yo puedo escuchar. Okay. Next, let me bring up LeVar. What's going on, LeVar?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Man, no problem, man. No problem, man. I really appreciate y'all joining me, man. Since this is the first episode of my podcast that we're going to be talking about digital assets, right? I really feel like I needed to get some experts in the game because I'm not an expert, right? But I feel like if I'm gonna try to do my best to try to help people understand this, then I need people that are very knowledgeable about this topic. And I couldn't think of no other people than the people that I'm in the group with, which is y'all guys, that can come on here and talk about this. So here we are, man. Here we are. So I think one of the main things that bothers me about CBDCs is that, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing that we're gonna do something about our financial situation. Well, not in this country alone, right? But I think it's bad that we're undecided about it.
Well, my opinion, if do you mind if I kind of chime
Go
in?
ahead. No, that's why you're here, brother. That's why you're here.
Yeah, man. So my opinion really is it's, for many years, the dollar has been the world's currency, pretty much. They've been using it for pricing the barrel of oil, as um, the dollar, and most economies are based on the U.S. economy. So the reason why the U.S. isn't trying to adopt it is because it's that person that doesn't want to let go of the power. They want to make sure they stay in power. So what they're doing is they are literally, with the reason why they're saying all this, causing all this fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD, or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
is they want to slow the adoption because it hurts them as a world power, is how I look at it. So that's kind of my perspective, because when you get, countries forming BRIC and all these other different alternatives to compete pretty much with their dominance on being the world currency. And then you have people, kind of bypassing it with cryptocurrencies. They're losing more and more power. And then when they also are not, they have started causing this inflation by the money printing,
Right.
that's also hurting it, as well. So when they kind of went away from the gold standard, not to go too far, but long story short, I really see it as them trying to hold on to power. And that's one of the reasons why you hear them say, oh, it's a scam and different things like that. Now, I want to say one thing is that, hey, what's going on? I wanted to say one more thing about, there are some cryptocurrencies that are scams. They are Ponzi schemes, but the ones that generally are in the top 30, those are normally where they got a lot of money and things like that. They are less likely to have issues because they have a lot of investors. They actually have a lot of tech, but there are some stuff like Doge that has very, very low usage. It's really just a popular coin, not necessarily great tech,
Right.
So you do have to do research on what projects and digital assets that you're most interested in, because even some of them in the top 10, like USDC and Tether, they're not, all they are is the dollar, in cryptocurrency form. They're not actually something you want to really buy because you feel like it's great tech. You're only doing that because you don't want your money to fluctuate. So you have to do your own research to kind of understand. Just because it's in top 10 doesn't mean it's really an asset that you're using for appreciation,
Right.
or because you like the tech or you want to back the particular blockchain or network, so you do need to figure out what it is that you're buying, and then kind of go from there. But there are some projects, because there's over 10,000 different cryptocurrencies. So some of them are bad actors, that are, really just there for a money grab. But I'll just say that.
I had a guy try to get me the other night in the barbershop. I couldn't wait to tell y'all this story. I'm going to put it in the group. And I said, no, the C's going to get me. If I put this in the group, he going to say, no, investment only, right? So I said, no, I'm going to wait till we get on here. So I'm in the barbershop because my barber, I'm told my barber, right, he needs to start taking payments in crypto. I don't carry cash, right? I only Cash App or Zelle or something like that. But I'm really trying to do away with all forms of fiat wherever I spend money at, right? So he tell me, oh man, he went on vacation. Oh man, my boy, he I seen him in Miami. They got a company and they're gonna have a conference here in Nashville, right? Talking about crypto. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's cool. Well, what's the name of the company? Never heard of the name of the company, right? But Thursday, I fall in the barbershop. New face in the barbershop, right, Val? New face in the barbershop. I'm like, who's this dude? Something tell me it's him. Okay, it's just we never have new faces in there, never. So it's just, who are you? You're new. Maybe that's the dude. So as I'm sitting here, I'm like this, playing with my iPad. Hey, this is my boy that, with the crypto and I'm like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, okay. Well.
Put you all out there.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. What's up, man? I met you before, right? I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, what you into? What kind of crypto? I'm like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Try to keep it vague. Yeah.
I'm like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? So he comes over, starts talking to me. He said, man, I got a book, right? I got a book. I wrote a book on crypto. Oh, for real? Okay, cool. That's what's up. Got a copy? Let me get a copy. Got a link? Send me the link. You know what I'm saying? If it's legit, I'm I got some people I can send it to.
Right.
He goes get me a copy of the book. In the book, it's got a flyer. Flyer's got the name of the company that is supposed to be doing the thing up here in Nashville. With a QR code on it. That's a red flag right there, right?
Right. Try to send you somewhere.
So it's got a QR code on it. So I'm like, Okay. I'm reading a book. It's got the 10 commandments of crypto in it, blase, blase. Then he starts talking to me. And I'm trying to, just skim through it real quick, thoroughly, just read it, right? So long story short, he sees me going through the book and says, he cuts me off and say, hey, no, this one right here, this crypto right here, this is what's going to be the future. I'm like, oh, okay, what's the name of it? Pulse coin. Oh, okay. So because I listen to you guys, the first thing I did, right? Oh, okay, pulse coin. Let me open my coin get.
Right.
let me look up the tokenomics on pulse coin. Right? I ain't got no tokenomics.
What's going on?
Oh, hold on. Well, let me just, because you can Google the white paper.
Right.
This is public info. But let me just Google the white paper, right? The thing literally said there's no white paper for this coin. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, hey, hold this for a second. I hand him the book back. I'm not being rude. Right? I'm like, here, hold this for a second. So I hand him the book back, and I'm playing with my iPad, like I'm doing more research. Really, I done already wrote that off. I'm like, you ain't getting me, dog. And he saw me doing this and was asking me, what was you doing? And I'm like, I'm looking for the white paper. Hey, sweetheart, can you tell me where we can find the white paper at? No response. So there are scams in crypto.
Right, definitely.
You just got to be aware of it. But I agree with you on the point that CBDCs, right? Because the U.S. doesn't want to lose control per se. Now, every 70, 80 years, the company with the what's the word I'm looking for? You just said it.
Talk about the power.
It's power, but it's a word for the trading currency.
You're talking about the
right on the tip of my tongue.
petrodollar?
No, not the petrodollar, but the global trading currency.
Gotcha. Brick. Well, one was brick, was one what they're trying to do. But yeah, the world's
that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do away with the dollar as their alternative global trading currency, right?
For the remittances and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And because of BRICS, the dollar's losing strength, right? So we understand this. And because the dollar is not physically backed by anything, by precious metal or anything, it's losing power. I think they took away the gold standard around 1960 or something like that. I'm not sure, but they based it off consumerism. And that's not doing well due to inflation. So now they're going to try to tokenize all the debt and digitize it and make it into these digital currencies. But
right,
how is that going to be beneficial to us?
Yeah, they took away the gold standard. They replaced it with pretty much a promise that you can recoup your funds from the government.
Right.
And so that helped them with the monetary policy to be able to create money out of nowhere, in the form of debt, versus them having, it used to be a certificate where you could get a certain quantity of gold equal to the amount of dollars that you had. So when they took that away, that's where the inflation and stuff came in.
Right.
So yeah, I think the thing I don't like the most about central bank digital currencies is the privacy aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Because they're programmable.
Yeah, they're trying to. So could you imagine a world where where they just automatically turn off your money? Or imagine a world where they
did it in Canada.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, it's different things like that. Where even when you have the regular dollar, even when you have like a regular dollar bill in your pocket, it's not necessarily something that you have to report. But imagine you having like a tracking system for everything that you spend, just in itself. Now, I don't have necessarily anything to hide, but at the same time, there's privacy rules for a reason.
All about business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's none of your business. So unless I'm doing something illegal that you can prove, just like with banks, you got to get a warrant before you can go in somebody's bank to figure out what they're doing. You know what I mean? So why do you need to have access to my bank stuff all the time? You know, there's privacy for a reason. You know, so
And it's issued by the
that's kind of
Central
infringing on
Bank.
some of your rights. You know.
Mm-hmm. And it's instrumented and delivered by the Central Bank, which is the Federal Reserve here, right? So that means everyone's financial info will be on a ledger at the Federal Reserve.
Right.
So that means, like now in the US, they instituted Fed Now. So Fed Now is basically supposed to be a better payment system or whatever. But the way I explain it to people is, you know, like I do it too, right? I do my shopping in a certain place. So imagine being able to go into the bougie part of your city and you get there to the cash register and your card don't work. That's the best way I explain it to them. And they say why? I mean, because they can program it to where it doesn't have to work. If they don't want you to shop outside of a certain mileage, they'll cut you off. They can do that. It's a programmable currency. Then they also have the ability to see everything that you buy, everything that you do. If you want to travel, like a lot of us do, you can't. They can block it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think an example would also be I want to say it's China that has where they have like the app that like you have the social media where they can turn that off. They have one app that's like their Telegram. It pretty much covers everything in one. And they introduced a currency, you know, themselves, a CBDC. And the issue with that is if something if something you do that they don't like that socially, they can just turn you off for any reason, you know, and you can't live or anything like that. Just turn you off, you know. And that's kind of my issue kind of with it. And this should be something that's definitely voted on. It should be something that they shouldn't just go out there and just do. This should be something that people should know the pros and the cons to it, you know, overall, you know, and there's going to be a lot of people that, you know, they try to get a dollar altogether, you know, like the actual physical dollar, you know, that might be an issue for a lot.
What year was the Olympics over there? Was that 2020 or 2021?
I forget when it was. Yeah,
but when they had the Beijing Olympics, China instituted, that was the year they instituted their CBDC.
Right.
Everyone had to use their digital currency.
Right.
So they got everyone's data, everyone's info. Now that was over there from all over the world, from all parts of the world. Now, I don't know if the athletes had to do it. I think they get catered a little differently. But that's when they tested their pilot program out secretly on people. Wow. So that also ties into digital IDs and how they can tie your social media to a digital ID, which that's probably coming too, right?
Because it's already here. It's already here.
Yeah, over there, yeah. Yeah, especially over there.
They haven't rolled it out, but they have technology to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big concern for privacy. Very big concern for privacy, and we need to be more and more aware of what's going on. Let me share this because this is something that you just touched on, and it's on this tracker. Like they have definitions about this on there. Yeah, right here on the page. It says right here, what are the challenges with a CBDC? There are several challenges, and each one needs careful consideration before a country launches a CBDC. Citizens could pull too much money out of banks at once by purchasing CBDCs and trigger a run on banks, affecting their ability to lend and sending a shock to interest rates. Yeah. This is especially a problem for countries with unstable financial systems. They also carry operational risks since they are vulnerable to cyber attacks and need to be made resilient against them. But at the bottom, we got some security implications of the CBDC. This is what you were saying. New payment systems create externalities that impact the daily lives of citizens and can possibly jeopardize the national security. It can, for example, flows and enforce sanctions. In the long run, the absence of U.S. leaderships and standards settings can have geopolitical consequences, especially if China and other countries maintain their first mover advantage in the development of CDC. Well, they've already done it. Um, our work on digital currencies at the Geoeconomic Center is the nexus of the future. So, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's another part in here where they were talking about the privacy part too.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of challenges, especially since the U.S. Banks are doing fractional reserve lending, where they actually don't have most of the money in the bank. That's why they have the insurance, as well. That 250,000 for the ones that have that particular insurance on them. Because that's one of the issues that had happened with the Great Depression back in the day, where too many people did a bank run, tried to get their money, banks closed down and messed up the economy. So they put in certain measures to kind of offset people doing bank runs, But I mean, there's a very low percentage that people actually have to keep in their bank, I mean that bank has to keep in their reserves to pay out people, So that bank run thing is actually really real.
yeah, and so that's why a lot of banks have folded here in the last year, and I feel like there's going to be more to come. Um, the Bank of Silicon Valley, that was the first popular one we heard of, but there have been several more. Um, I've noticed lots of popular institutions are shutting down branches now too, like Bank of America, places like that. They're just shutting them down. They keep it like maybe one central hub,
Yeah,
and
but
they have to go.
that one's definitely understandable because it's brick and mortar. Most people don't even go into their local banks anymore, so they do everything virtually ever since COVID. So
Mhm.
ever since that had happened, people are doing more things from home, online banking and stuff. So they don't need as many branches. So I definitely understand that one from a
Yeah,
branch standpoint.
yeah, it's like our country. I mean, my company, we had a lot of offices, and we just shut down not all of them, but a few of them because they're not using them. Like we rented out tons of it. Now we're just here. So
All right,
now,
family. So I'm back. I got my little attention. I had to take care of a couple things. So, but I'm good now. Ready to join
well,
the conversation.
don't get in trouble, though. It's not a,
No, no, ain't no trouble. We just, I mean, it's a little, nah, nothing like that, nothing like that at all.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Okay, okay. So yeah, man, I was in and out on the conversation a little bit, so y'all have to catch me up where we at. I didn't want to jump in and throw the conversation off. So, but I did hear about regulation, and, what CBDs are for, and a couple other
Yeah.
things. But you can
So
catch me
yeah,
up.
we're just talking about CBDCs and how they have privacy concerns, right? Because
Uh,
they're programmable, and uh, we're worried about how they can be utilized to. We're not gonna. We didn't say control people, but that's basically the.
oh, okay. So, well, my consensus on that is, the principle of why one of the principles of why I even started down the path of talking about learning about educating people on cryptocurrency is because of the end game. I feel like if we get ahead of it on education wise and we be able to position ourselves, we'll be able to soften the blow of what is going to hit the masses really hard. Similar to 1929, 1930 status, but it's going to be much worse. So the thing about that is I know that the CBDC ultimately is going to come into play. However, we have a, I guess, gray area, middle period, and this is what we are in right now, where they have to, break down the old and build up the new.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are right now, and I believe that this is the where the individuals soften the blow before a full, you know, overwatch government control currency is in place. Because you could, that's not gonna, that just straight up say it plain and straight, is not gonna, nothing's gonna change that. Okay, that's gonna happen.
Right.
As much as we gonna fight for decentralization, and and it's great and it's good, we just in the situation in knowledge wise where we can take advantage of the opportunities now, and that's essentially ultimately what we um strive to do on Learn Crypto TV, so that way you be educated to make the best decision. But
Yeah.
for the meantime, F CBDC. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that crap. I don't want them looking at no transactions of mine. You know what I mean? Shoot, that's why this Hydra DX protocol, the Drift protocol, and Uniswap at one point in time, and all these decentralized exchanges are in play, along with Monero, Dash, XVG, and other privacy-focused cryptos that's out there. This is why, because people would rather remain anonymous for whatever reason that people use is saying money laundering, and for whatever reason they say, hold on, man, my wife just messed me up. I'm sorry. You should. So if you watch anything, if y'all watch Love Crossing Borders, man, and
Yeah.
breaking the program where, because Andrea always then came in there and
Always
gave
come
him
in
some,
messing with
but my
Dre.
wife
Yeah.
didn't. My wife didn't do that just now. She came in here modeling for me, if you understand what I'm saying. So now that's what got me
Oh,
goggling. I can't even catch my words, and
can't
she
even say
laughing at me.
nothing. Can't even
Yeah,
say
you
nothing.
know what I'm saying. So let me get my focus back on what I was talking about here. You
Oh, hey.
Okay, so all right, I'm sorry about that, gentlemen. So these privacy focused coins, and people will rather be able to operate without government overreach, or operate in a space to where they can just remain anonymous. Because some people just would rather, you have philanthropy work where people do stuff with people all the time and they're remaining anonymous. So this whole CBDC thing is more or less about government control and overreach, and being able to dictate what it is that a person does. We already have forms of this already. You can see it in UBIs. It's called Universal Basic Income. Over in California, I know for sure that they rolled that out with individuals who coming out of the foster care, aging out of the system, and they going into that transitional phase after 18 years old into life. They still can't make it on their own. So there is a structure in place called universal basic income, where they get a certain amount of money every month, to be able to survive. You understand what I'm saying? That is a form that ultimately right there, in my opinion, that structure is where how they're going to be able to introduce CBDC to the mass without anybody complaining. There's nothing no different from the social economic help system, i.e. Department of Children and Families, you know, food stamps, pretty much, WIC, all of that stuff, governmental supplements to be able to help people to be able to survive, right? That's going to be the easiest route that a CBDC is going to be able to be ushered in over to the masses. People like us, like I said, who are on the outside, and if we're educated enough to know, we are going to be able to lessen that blow, because we now have put ourselves in position when we own the XRPs, the XLMs, the XDCs, the H bars, the quants, the Algorand of the world, IOTAs. We put ourselves in a situation to where that those institutions who want to institute that control over the mass, they're gonna have to come ask still the mass of people, the small mass of people, for your help in doing that. And what I mean, we're gonna end up doing it anyway because we have the asset, and we'll be again softening the blow for us. You know what I'm saying? And whoever we choose to take care of during that time period. But that's just my overall view, because I could keep going on this and I can get sidetracked off of crypto for sure. You know what I'm saying? In regards to what I feel about CBDC and how it's going to be implemented in society. But I'll just say this, gentlemen, and any listeners that's in the program, please understand and know that there's no stopping that. It's going to happen. All we can do is maneuver around it the best way we can to be able to, like I said, soften the blow of what's going to happen in the world by mass. You know what I mean? There's going to be a certain sector of people, percentage of people in the population that's not going to really feel that outside of the top 1%. You know, is going to be a new wealth class created, and we'll be a part of that new wealth class. That's softening the blow. And the only way you're going to be able to be a part of that is acquiring this knowledge and acting, putting feet up under your legs, making it move. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be talking about it. You got to actually do it. But I'll stop there because I'll keep going.
Yeah. If I could chime in on that part real fast.
Go ahead.
So there's one thing like Los was talking about with the with government money. So like if I'm using money that the government's giving me, you know, where they're giving me a benefit because they want to make sure that I'm using that money in a manner that is, you know, vital to my living, you know, which I can kind of understand that to a degree. They want to make sure you're not just spending on drugs or whatever, this is that. So I definitely could get that to a degree. I guess my issue would be like once they start to try to roll it out where all of your money, regardless if it was government issued money, you know, if I made money and it was just my own hard-earned money that came from a particular job or something like that, you didn't, I earned that. You ain't just let me use it or let me borrow it or anything like that. So there should be no necessary restraints or control over that aspect of it. My other issue I have is when the government's trying to dictate your ability to invest. You know, so right now with one of the issues they have, like with the stock market and stuff, you know, you can't get into sometimes certain types of riskier investments, like, you know, startup companies or, you know, people like what they call it, private stock and things. Normally you have to be at a certain income level, you know, to get in those type of investments. You know, you're kind of stuck at getting them once they hit the public market, you know, because they restrict certain individuals. You have to make like $250,000, you know, or something like that before you can invest in certain things. And what I don't want them to do is try to make it where you can't get into crypto unless you're a qualified investor or something like that. You know, different things like that, where they're dictating, hey, you like this coin, but I ain't gonna let you trade it because we think it's too risky for you. You're not smart enough to make a financial decision. You know, where they're trying to control like what you're able, and what they end up doing is that's kind of like preventing you from being able to get wealth, where they're just allowing the most wealthy to partake in certain, you know, investments and stuff. So that's you know, when it comes to like them dictating what we buy and things like that. So imagine now you got a CBDC and now they're like, okay, you can't ever spend money on crypto.
Right.
We're not going to allow this money to even get in there because we could program it to not even interact. You see what I'm saying?
We got some comments.
Those are some issues I have.
So I want to say, how can I join your course and receive as many certificates as you have? Mr. Ronaldo, this is from long years of education. But your other comment, you say you want to be a crypto gazillionaire. Okay, so subscribe to Learn Crypto TV on YouTube, not on Twitch, on YouTube. You come over here and you can learn. Also, subscribe to my channel. Make sure that if you're watching this, because we're live on 3 different platforms right now. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So press like, press subscribe. This is how you start learning. The stuff on the wall, this is child's play. Really got nothing to do with what we're talking about. But at the same time, if you're serious, this is how you start. You come on over here to YouTube, subscribe to Learn Crypto TV so you can hear those gems like Carlos just dropped. That's only if you're serious, though, because I see your other comment, but I'm not going to publish it. But subscribe to Learn Crypto TV so subscribe to my channel, the Professional Nomad Podcast. Make sure you click like on all those videos. Make sure you click like on this video, and make sure you share it with some friends so people can learn about these digital assets, because it's important. And yes, this is a live video, so thank you. Shout out to the Quiet Storm for being here in the building. Appreciate you, bro. We're on Rumble. Content being uploaded right now as we speak. Automatic sync. Thank you for everything you do. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Machismo TV. I don't want the government in my business either. I know there's nothing we can do to stop it from happening, though. I know it's coming eventually down the pike. That's why I'm trying to learn about this stuff as much as possible. I'm trying to figure out how I can put myself in a position to win.
Well, you know, we could definitely start by the ISO 20022. See, this is why I be telling people about, you know, these tokens, because it's going to be that's the easiest way that you can get in, and it's the easiest way that you can you know, get started in crypto without actually having to do research like most people don't do. You know, see what I'm saying? See, we have a unique bunch of individuals within our, you know, small community that we've developed over time, you know, but all of us, the one thing that we do have, whether we have a difference in opinion or not, you know what I mean, is all of us do research on what we know, like, and love, you know what I'm saying? And that way we can feel strongly in our conviction on what it is that we invest in. So because of the knowledge that we were able to do and acquire over the time, sharing amongst one another in the Blockchain Brothers WhatsApp group, then we go out now and regurgitate this information back out to whoever our, you know, circles are that we run into on a day-to-day basis. So if you're running into individuals like this, then you need to probably try to listen to them and then, you know, research what they're saying. But you can go right on what I'm telling you with XRP, XLM, and you see all of the stuff on the screen. You saw it on my name, under my name. You see it. All of that stuff right there, you know. Well, actually, no, it's not. Those are few. I got a couple other, you know, I'm sorry. I thought I had a mixture of the ISO, but those are, you know, see, this is the fun part about crypto. It's so many projects that is going to change the world, because we look at utility. We don't just jump in crypto projects that's not going to solve a problem, right?
I just was telling VAR about something that happened to me in the barbershop a couple of days ago. A dude tried to scam me with crypto, and because I listened to what you guys said, I went straight to the tokenomics of the crypto and looked for the white paper, and was like, oh.
See, and that's the very first thing. If a brother, even if they got a white paper out, that don't mean it's a legitimate one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no tokenomics.
Hey, I did want to make a comment though about the whole, you know, if there's not, we can do. So I do believe the governments are going to come out with some form of digital currency. So there's no stopping that, but there's also no stopping Bitcoin either. So as long as they could, and they already got El Salvador making it their national currency, and they're already about to launch some ways that the United States is going to be able to have it even more adopted. So Bitcoin is one of those situations where you can have it more anonymous to a degree, you know. So as long as there's that alternative, and see, that's the difference between the central bank digital currencies, which is controlled by a centralized like government, versus Bitcoin, which is a network of people that no one person is controlling. So as long as there's alternatives that can be accepted, it's okay that the banks necessarily have it. My issue is them if they try to take away your right to have an alternative. If I don't agree with the way you are conducting your monetary policy with inflation, and you're kind of messing up the dollar and watering it down, and I should be able to buy gold. I should be able to buy precious metals. I should be able to buy Bitcoin to hedge against those risks.
And see,
so it's the power of the choice that I want. So as long as they give us alternatives where I can use some other type of digital money, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, different things like that, you know, I got to plug the Polkadot.
Well said, brother. Well said.
You can have your coin. You know, just don't try to put up those barriers of entry where you're saying I can't invest by you putting up these, these things because you're trying to control me. You know what I mean? Allow me to at least invest in the coins I want to invest in, be able to use the coins I want to invest in. If companies want to be able to accept my money, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Polkadot, different things like that, allow those companies to do it. Just don't put up different laws because you're trying to change the narrative. Just don't be lying. Don't be causing these lawsuits and trying to make laws. They're literally trying to not have clarity so they can just sue people for no reason.
That's what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're literally like, people are asking for clarity. They know there's no clarity. And so what they're doing is you're trying to slow down so they just sue people and cause no clarity so they can stagnate the development of the asset in the United States. And that stuff is not good. And that's my issue. So if they were more transparent, they were actually like, hey, you know what? We want to, we value your rights. I just don't like them making decisions for me. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm smart enough myself.
The goals, what I got right here, the goals of CBDC is supposed to address financial inclusion issues by providing privacy, transferability, convenience, accessibility, and financial security. It's also supposed to help reduce the costs associated with maintaining complex financial systems and cross-border transactions. You want to do that? I'm fine with that. Okay. But that's a wholesale CBDC.
Right.
What a lot of these people are trying to do is retail, right? Retail CBDCs. And that's when y'all in my business. I don't need y'all in my business. You want to do all that stuff and lower your you know what I'm saying, your cross-border payments and all that. I please, by all means,
right,
go ahead and do that. But as I've been preaching this to everybody, I've been on Facebook with it, I've been on Instagram with it, I have not got one person to ask me any questions about this. And this ain't financial advice, people, right? This ain't financial advice. But if you see someone and you hear someone trying to provide you with some kind of clarity about something that's come along in the future, you should ask, hey man, what are you talking about? Right? Because with us, our main thing is always about money, especially with people of color. We're always concerned about money. So if you see somebody who has good sense of mind, he ain't crazy, I would ask. Nobody's asked. Nobody. It's always something, man. It's always something and always going to be something. No, but we got to do better as a people, man. And people like us, we try to educate our people, and we're doing our best to make sure we get that message out there to everybody. Let's see. Also, was a note that I took that was CBDCs versus cryptocurrencies. Like, what's the difference? CBDCs are designed for stability and safety, mirroring fiat currency, while cryptos are unregulated and decentralized. Now, again, they're gonna make
they want to throw in those feet.
Right? They're gonna make it sound like, and they say volatile. I left that part out, right? But they're gonna always make it seem like what you're doing is bad and what they're doing is good.
Right.
So
they got the answer.
They got the answer to everything. But at the same time, they're gonna end up using one of the most popular cryptos to lower their cross-border payment costs. And how is that not a problem?
Right. Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam, but they're buying it out the roof, like I just showed on Fiat Tracker. They're buying so much crypto, it is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice on that tracker, it looks like it's going straight to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man.
And it's unregulated because they're not trying to make it where it's transparency. There's other countries is making it where it's where they got transparent laws around it, but they're literally they just lost the Ripple lawsuit because it was like one of the I watched most of that lawsuit, and they said so many different two-faced things. And that's the thing. They're saying one thing out of one, and then all of a sudden now they change the story, where that's what I don't like. It's the corruption behind what they're doing. And there was a whole financial, not to get into it, but there's a whole reason. Like the person that brought even the lawsuit was because it was a competitor to Ripple. So they literally sued them to slow them down. So anyway, but the whole thing, like I said, is just, it's all about power. Money's power, and it's all about narrative. It's all about narrative. So they're trying to control the narrative by making this seem bad and this was good. But the real difference is CBDCs is government control.
Right.
Crypto is owned by the people, and that's the issue. They want to keep their control versus allowing the people to actually have their own voice and to push what they feel is valuable. They want to take away the choice, and that's my issue.
And they're also trying to say that they're not going to pass the bill to enact CBDCs without the approval from Congress. Well, we know they're going to approve it, right? Because they want it. So we're going to get it. It's just what kind are we going to get is the question. And when you look on that CBDC tracker, we got 5 different types of CBDC projects that they're researching. You got wholesale, retail. I forgot the project. Ubi. It's a bunch of them. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many do you need to just know what's going on? You can't just look and see what's going on overseas, see what another country did. I mean, I know we got a different financial system, right? I mean, I'm not ignorant not to know that, but how people are doing it in other parts of the world, we're not the only country that has thought about implementing digital currencies, right? So how is it so hard? I mean, and then we also notice that with BRICS, most of the countries that are in BRICS, they already have their pilot program running, right? So if you look on their tracker, I dropped the link in the chat, you can see Brazil, China, Russia, and South Africa already have their pilot programs in motion right now. So if that doesn't tell you that we're not going to be somewhere down the line, I mean, we got to supposedly 2025 to do it, right? So we're going to get it one way or the other. It's just what kind. I don't want retail.
Well, that's what I was saying about the UBIs, man. The UBIs, that is that's some sort of a pilot program right there. You look at the country of China. China already got it in place. They got a whole social credit score system going on over there, man. That America's is probably going to end up implementing right behind them as well. So we already have these things already in place in bits and pieces throughout society. The financial wing is just the last piece of all of this stuff to the last piece of the puzzle to be able to create the layout or the foundation of what it is that they ultimately trying to achieve. I think that that's what the case is right now. But we see it we see it through these, even the Social Security program that 65 and older, the retirement age people who receive that money. That's some form of a government. What you think they're gonna do with that? That's USDC all day long. They're gonna switch. That's gonna be the easiest to switch to they system. And how in the world are the people that's receiving it gonna stop it? Nor are they even gonna be. They just gonna go along with the flow. At the end of the day, you understand what I'm saying? Because as long as they're able to still receive their benefits, that's all they care about. Yeah. I don't care if it's digital. And then they already digital right now anyway. Most of them not walking around with cash. You still have a few people that's born before 1955. You know what I'm saying? That's 57. That's still walking around with cash in their pocket. You know what I mean? Just because that's just what they used to. But most of the people have already adopted to the current society and conditions, right? So, like LeVar was alluding to earlier, in the way of talking about having the option. That's just what I believe in, man. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a free thinking individual. That's what it really all comes down to at the end of the day, control. I'm a free thinking individual. I don't need anybody to tell me what's good for me in my life. I can look at other examples and be able to implement what's going to work for me and what's not, right? And this is from a critical thinking aspect, which I think is dead. And the reason why you need channels like yours and mine, and whenever LeVar decide to spin up one, You
Yeah,
know,
come on, Va. Come on, Va. We need this education out here, man. The more the merrier, man. We need people to listen. That's
you know.
the key point.
So these are the things. These are the things that I consider when I'm looking at different situations that's happening throughout society and what's happening. So I have to consider all of this when making my investment decisions financially, right? And part of the reason why I'm outside of the country, man, because I don't want to be in the middle of the frying pan when the stuff happen, man. I'm going to
Man.
be able to. I have access to cryptos that other people don't have access to simply because I have another basically citizenship, a way to present myself. You
Boss,
know.
let me ask you something.
I
Yeah, go
don't.
ahead.
I'm gonna ask you a question after you're done too. I want to make sure I piggyback off of something he said, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I can ask after that. Go ahead, Va.
Yeah, so real quick, I don't think it's going to be hard for them to actually make a CBDC or something similar or use digital assets to kind of accomplish some of this. I actually think it's rather easy. I think really what they're trying to do is trying to see if there's some way they could get their piece of the pie. Is really the case, maybe they can make some money off of it or something like that. But truthfully, they already got everything in place. They got USDC that's issued by Circle, which is from Goldman Sachs, which is one where they're actually using the dollar, or a lot of it is a dollar for a dollar. They put a dollar in the bank or some form of backing to it. And that is actually a crypto dollar for dollar. So you got that already on in the blockchain. Then you have Ripple that also can transfer a massive amount of US dollars around, kind of like Swift, to different countries and things like that. They already know that technology, and there's been some white papers that's one of the few projects that they're looking at utilizing, for remittances. And if they don't like that one, then they got XLM, which is the same technology they use, but that's actually supposed to be something slightly different, but it's similar technology. And then so you got those two things, and then you already got big players such as Visa that's using USDC, which is US digital coin, US dollar coin, I should say, US dollar coin. So I think it's already there. It's just a matter of which one they're willing to do for national adoption. And I think they're really just kind of debating on which one they feel like they can most profit from, from a country standpoint. It's kind of my thought process, without being in the rooms.
All right, so let me get both of you guys' opinion on this right here. So say for the people who have moved to another country per se, right? And they're receiving their benefits from the government. How will these CBDCs affect them as far as payments?
They'll just be able to see what you're spending your money on more. They already kind of doing that to a degree though. When you swipe your money at the grocery store, things like that, like when you have food stamps and stuff. So they're kind of already doing that when they're giving you your own like debit card that you can use to spend, that they'll be able to see what you're spending on.
All right. So let's take this a little bit farther, Var. Come on, because you giving them butter. You know what I'm saying? We got to give them everything, dog. You know what I'm saying? Look here, man. Ultimately, for an example, let's just say you walking down the street one day, boom, you trying to get somewhere fast. Everything's set up through the government. They UBI and they send in whatever, they monitoring transactions, how whatever. All right. So you jaywalk, boom. You know what I mean? You get caught because there's surveillance cameras everywhere. They all over Bogota. You know what I mean? You get you see a surveillance camera, they catch you jaywalking, boom. Guess what? Some ping go off. Hey, such and such, your ID number, just jaywalk. Now the government can automatically tax you instead of you getting a date having to pay by. They taking it out your account right now. You know what I'm saying? Or they putting you in the negative until so next time some money come through getting paid. That's what we talking about, control. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Telling you that you can't buy a plane ticket and go outside the country to another state. You know what I mean? Telling you can't travel. We talking about this type of control. Okay, so this person sit around and watch Netflix too much. We gonna chop that off. He ain't finna be able to watch Netflix no more. You know what I'm saying? We talking about control like that. Yeah, who cares about monitoring transactions like LaVar just said? They doing it anyway. They already doing that. They know what we buying and spending. They know. That's how they know, you know what I'm saying, the flag in the account if it go over $9,999.99. That's how they know, because you're getting monitored. You feel me? So that's already there. We talking about a different form of control, people. We talking about something where, you know what I mean, you this is an invasion of privacy type of control thing. That's what we
Right.
talking about here.
Or where they won't even let your money be able to be compatible for certain things. They just turn it off. Oh, you can't use this website or that website because I have control over where this money moves. I can freeze your account whenever I want to. Stuff like that. That's what you want to avoid.
But would it be better to live outside? Let's say, like me, I'm working on dipping out of here, right? Would it be better for people to weigh their options on leaving one country, going to somewhere, well, let's say they have more financial rights than their own home country? Because say like the US, we know what they're going to try to do. So someone like say like Lowe's did, he's gone, right? So would that be a better option for somebody? Do you, in your opinion, you think that would be the way to go?
It can be, definitely. I mean, but not everybody's in the same situation. Some
Right.
people got families, some people got kids. Some people have different routes that they've established. Where it might be a little harder for them to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely an option for some individuals. And then there's language barriers for certain areas. Some people, I'm not the greatest at learning a new language. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on what area a person's wanting to go to, and what their financial situation is. Can they just pick up? What if they got a great job that they love that can't be worked remote? What type of job would they be able to get in another country? And then learning whatever challenges it would be where you being in a whole new culture and environment.
Absolutely correct. These are all things that you have to consider. Not everybody's situation is going to be the same or similar to mine. My situation just happened to where, and then not only that, what a lot of people don't know is that this is something I have been exploring since 2006. When I was just out of college, about 3-4 years out of college, and I had a buddy of mine, that I still keep in contact with today. He started working government contracts over there in the war zone. Afghanistan, Kuwait, Iraq, etc. But he's making government contract money. He's not a part of the. He's a part of the U.S. government, but not. He's via U.S. contractor, civilian status. So I was considering that, but at the time when he was telling me when everything was hot, going fat, good, we actually have a blockchain brother in that does this work. That's in the group, Daryl Wesley. You know what I'm saying? He that's what he does. Exactly what he does. But he also has military experience. I'm talking about from the civilian side doing it. So a lot of people don't know that this was something that I was considering even back then when I was 26 years old. And being young and whatever, yeah, I didn't think about pushing that. Man, I ain't going over there. America the greatest. I can get all that over here. All the bullshit, all the BS that you hear. You know what I mean? So fast forward. It got even more heightened. I had went through a life situation that caused a lot of turbulence, and during that time I thought about vacating the country at that time, 2013, 14, around that time frame. And you know uh the turbulence became uh, uh, it became bearable, until it was no more turbulence. And then once the turbulence cleared, I was able to make a decision to leave the country, and that's what I did. So, the reason why I narrated it in this fashion is because somebody may be in a similar situation, and you have to and you trying to make a decision to see what's best for you. What I'm going to tell you is you got to do what's best for you, and you got to consider everything that Lavar just told you. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you
Right.
if you got a family, you got to consider learning another language. Well, I mean, but there are other countries that you ain't got to learn another language. But at the same time, how would you be able to establish and live over there in that other country financially? You understand what I'm saying? So, these are definitely some things you have to consider, and if it's something that is for you, then my suggestion from my point of view is I'm going to tell you to get the hell get on. But there's going to be some people that have to stay behind, and you got to make the best of your situation. There's areas in the country that I would be in or have to consider being in when the frying pan get hot, you know, because there's going to be areas of the country that ain't going to get touched a little bit, So you got to be knowledgeable about that as well, you know, because like I wouldn't be in New York City, I wouldn't be in LA, I wouldn't be in Miami, you know what I'm saying? Those cities, Houston, I wouldn't be in Chicago, I wouldn't be in none of those cities at all for under no circumstance. Why? Because you know what I'm saying, we saw what happened in September 11th, 2001. You know, we saw that already. We know what the capability of these types of things are, you know. But then you have metro cities that's also going to be feeling the punch, like Detroit, that they, you know, basically financial holocaust there. You got Atlanta, you know what I mean, that turns into a filth pot like San Francisco. You understand what I'm saying? So there is a strategic meltdown of different places, but there's also going to be some there's going to be some places that's not going to get touched either. That is also meaning by a controlled demolition situation, right? They ain't gonna get touched. So but I'll pause right there, man. I don't want to take over the show.
No, yeah, you're all right. No, you definitely got to make the best decision for you and yours, right? That's why I asked, what, in your opinion, what do you think someone should do? I know if it was me, right, and I know what I'm considering doing for mine, because say all my kids are grown. I got grandkids, right? So I'm able to dip out. I can talk to them on FaceTime like I do now. You know, I can come back here now and then if I need to, but my situation won't be the same as everyone else's situation. So if push come to shove and someone wants to make a decision like this, if they have not learned about, you know, these assets and these CBDCs and what's coming down the pike, it might be a problem. Might not be, but it's best to learn. I just think it's beneficial for everybody to start trying to do some kind of educational learning on this situation. Like I said, everybody needs to go subscribe to Learn Crypto TV so you can go up and start learning about these digital assets. Los is one of the best minds in the game right now. Bar's over there too. I'm over there moderating too. So you can go over there and get free education on crypto. Where can you go get free education on crypto besides Learn Crypto TV? And you can also book private consultations with Crypto Los if you want to. I suggest you do that, but first start by going over there and subscribing. We'll meet you on the other side. We've been on here an hour and 20 minutes, guys. I appreciate you guys coming through here, man. It really, really means a lot. If possible in the future, we'll do this again. Yeah, up them skills, folks.
Yes, sir. Mind. Yes, sir.
Yep. What happened? Yep, up them skills, folks. Yeah, everybody needs to learn. I'm not an expert, and I'm sure trying to learn. I didn't listen to nothing crypto related all week long, just so I didn't dilute my mind for this right here. Because usually I'm listening to some kind of crypto something while I'm working, right? So plus I'm on vacation. So I've been in the bed and I have not listened to anything. I said I got to be prepared because I know Los gonna come with it, VAR gonna come with it. So I gotta at least have some kind of something, right? It was hard because I'm trying to learn my best on crypto on the side by just I'm on YouTube.
You and blockchain brothers, brothers, bro. You know what I'm saying? You see the wealth of knowledge that get passed around in there, so you ain't got
man, there's a lot in there. So it's like,
yeah.
So I have to. This week I had to push pause just so I could prepare because it's like oh yeah.
But this topic here is relatively, you know, simple to talk about, you know, and then I don't really like talking about the CBDC factor, you know, personally, just because my mind automatically shifts to a different space. You know what I mean? I'm no longer crypto driven, you know, with that thought process. What I'm talking about CBDC. And it's only just because of what I know spiritually. That's the only reason why. So that's why I don't really like talking that's when I don't really like talking about it. Because it frightens people, you know, from the perspective that I describes it. And I don't really want people to be frightened because that also in their mind say, well, what I need to invest in crypto for there, and if it's gonna be this, and they'll start thinking about it from that perspective. But at the same time, these conversations still need to be had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they need to be had on a realist perspective. We don't need to be out here lying and telling nobody and giving them no fluff. And again, that's what we try not to do. We want to be as transparent as possible. And I always tell people, man, if I tell you something, go look it up and prove it wrong. And if you can prove it wrong, then I'll stand there in the fire and say, look, I was wrong. I told you this. This is what it is. This person right here corrected it. Give shout out to him. And boom, that's what it is. And outside of that, then it's right. I'm probably right 70% of the time. I'm lying. I'm just saying that just to be.
Hey, the one thing I would say is with the CBDC personally is that I always knew when I researched XRP, when I researched XLM and all those different things years ago, I knew eventually they would be that median. There was going to be a period of time where the banks, they're not going to just relinquish, control, but they were going to have to find something that would help them incorporate crypto. So I knew that there was going to be a period of time where CBDCs, Ripple, XLM, for a certain amount of years, we're going to have some value, because the banks were going to need to try to adopt somehow. And but I think that's going to be for a short period of time, between like 10 years, 15 years, and eventually that's going to fade, where it's going to go into some other type of digital asset. At least that's the hope, but a lot of countries, they're going to want to take control because they want to make sure that they can keep printing that money. But I always knew that there's going to be certain coins, such as those banker coins they used to call them, where they would help the banks kind of get more into crypto. So, and that's kind of the period that we're getting into now. The banks trying to adopt, and what technology are they going to use to adopt. And that's where the XRPs and different coins like that are, in that season right now. So,
yeah, they let Ripple off because they're going to need Ripple. Ripple working with over 100 countries right now in their CBDC programs alone, right? And it's a saying, it's he who controls the payment rails rules the world. You know who controls the payment rails right now? Yeah.
right.
XRP. So they're going to need them. So it's just a matter of time. So if you invested in it, you're gonna be great.
Right.
That's all I heard you say was invest in SRP. That's all I
heard. Invest in XRP. Go ahead and get you some ISO 222 coins. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, guys. I appreciate y'all. If anything y'all ever need from me, let me know. Okay.
No doubt, brother. Well, I appreciate you having me on and extending the invitation. You already know what you need to do to get me up here, man. That's it. So shout out to the people that stayed in and listened in the chat. If not, if you're hearing it on the replay, man, you know what I mean? Just take in heed what was being said, man, and apply it to your situation the best way you can to make it work.
Yes, sir. Make sure you press that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go subscribe to Learn Crypto TV. And be prepared for LeVar whenever he decides to go ahead and put his foot on the gas.
I've been thinking about it, man. A lot of people ask me to, so I've been thinking about it.
Somebody might just like your style of knowledge, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Somebody for everybody. All right, guys. Until next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.